I think they never start. Baby dobro. Oh, in fact, I'm mad enough. Mad enough for yet. Ndo na atara kama imi appreciate. Mgbe niile akpụrụ onye a n'ọnụ onye a abụrụ onye ọjọọ. Dr. Ngozi Oraibeze now. Ife a abụrụgo emergency. And ya nwa amapụtago. O nwere ife ọ na-eme. At the end of the day, abụrụkwa ya n'ọnụ. Ife mmadụ na-arụ ọrụ mmadụ na-arụ a ga na-akwụ ya ụgwọ. Yet ndị na-emere ife a fama nnọkọta nnọọ some of them anyway. Some of them aka na-apụtakwa gị asa ajọ mmadụ maka na ịdị ya aba mba na ịdị ya sound ntụfasi wee chọọ. Ọ na-agba mbọ niile a. No, febidoboro anyị ga-anụ ya na febidoboro. Mana ihe a bụ space. Febido anyị ga-anụ ya. Dr. Ngozi Oraibeze her mic ka dị off. Her mic ka dị off. So febidoboro. So afọ niile anyị fụrụ ọ na-ata osi ọrụ ọmapụta ebe osi nke ome nke a o megidekwa ya mechaa the end of the day some people arapụ ife ha kwesịrị ịdị na-ekwu kwụrụ ya n'ọnụ. Ọ mmadụ ka ọ bụ ọ ga na-ewekwa iwe abụkwa ahụ ọ bụ maka na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nọ ebe na ọkwa mmadụ ka ọ bụ ife na-eme na ị ga na-ewekwa iwe ọ ga na-akwakwa akwa ime obi. Maazị Ekpanjọkụ nọ ebe na ọ mmadụ ka ọ bụ ọ ga na-akpakwa akwa ime obi. Ụfọdụ ndị be anyị decide ya ka agwa gị okwu gwarụọ gị ahụ. I think while we wait, the sound of Ogutahan, I will bring it. Let me bring this video on. Let me bring this one on. So I want the sound of the Rana. Let's listen to this. Inekwa onye anya na onye adịkwa onye isi ala. Ọ ka were fụ na ife niile abụọ maka na ebe onye isi ala maọbụ ife a. Injustice bụ injustice. Listen.
Hello, everyone. I just want to try to be as brief as I can, and I'm dropping this quickly here because of Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration and his Judge Justice Omotosho, I think. And I think he's the same Justice Omotosho that said Fubara should be grateful to the president for suspending him for 6 months and declaring.
Na-ege ntị o, na-egekwa ntị o.
Hello, everyone. I just want to try to be as brief as I can, and I'm dropping this quickly here because of Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration and his Judge Justice Omotosho, I think. And I think he's the same Justice Omotosho that said Fubara should be grateful to the president for suspending him for 6 months and declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State. Yes, the same justice that passed. And Nnamdi Kanu, to say he was not going to open a defense on his case is clear. You understand? And why it is clear is that he was given a judgment by the Court of Appeal. Okay? Judgment in his favor by the Court of Appeal. The judgment was not honored by the government of the day. He was still restrained and incarcerated despite the judgment to release him, to discharge and acquit him. So now you expect the same Nnamdi Kanu to open a defense on a case that was judged in his favor by the appeal court, that the government of the day did not uphold. If the government did not uphold a judgment in his favor, it means they are not going to uphold any judgment until it's in the favor of the government of the day. This same justice that is supposed to represent judgment in his matter is the same justice that said Fubara should be grateful to President Tinubu for declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State and suspending him as a governor. If his judgments are in that pattern, how do you think Nnamdi Kanu will receive fair judgment? Because his judgment is not seen as justice served. His judgment is seen as siding the government of the day. You understand? So my talking and your talking on this matter before the judgment is not prejudice. It's not prejudice because we are not directly part of the case. If anyone is directly part of the case, you have no business talking on this matter until the judgment is served. But as many of us as are out there, Nigerians, seeing these things playing out, we can come out, we can speak as much as we can because we are not party to the case, but we are seeing what's going on and we are seeing it as a great injustice to the Igbo people, to the people from the East, and to Nnamdi Kanu as a person. It's a grave injustice. And
Thank you, Jinaduru. No, Chi, her mic is off. Her mic is off from my end. Her mic is off. Her mic is off from my end. Open before. Off for the mic.
Ah, Benny's parents. Thanks for coming.
You have a point. Madam, wepụchagoro ya mgbe ha bido ikwu okwu na ụmụ egwu a na-enye nsogbu. Let's continue listening to this one. Mgbe ha bidoro, I'm listening to it. Ha bidoro.
Hello, everyone. I just want to try to be as brief as I can, and I'm dropping this quickly here because of Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration and his judge Justice Omotosho, I think. And I think it's the same Justice Omotosho that said Fubara should be grateful to the president for suspending him for 6 months and declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State. Yes, the same justice that passed Nnamdi Kanu to say he was not going to open a defense on his case is clear. You understand? And why it is clear is that he was given a judgment by the Court of Appeal. Okay, judgment in his favor by the Court of Appeal. The judgment was not honored by the government of the day. He was still restrained and incarcerated despite the judgment to release him, to discharge and acquit him. So now you expect the same Nnamdi Kanu to open a defense on a case that was judged in his favor by the appeal court, that the government of the day did not uphold. If the government did not uphold a judgment in his favor, it means they are not going to uphold any judgment until it's in the favor of the government of the day. This same justice that is supposed to present judgment in his matter is the same justice that said Fubara should be grateful to President Tinubu for declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State and suspending him.
All right. Am I coming out?
Loud and clear, Your Excellency.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Mouthpiece. Welcome to Biafrans, friends of Biafrans, men and gentlemen of this press, to this Twitter space today. My name is Dr. Ngazora Boyza, the Deputy Prime Minister to the United States of Biafra government. And I want to quickly talk to Biafrans, friends of Biafrans, at this moment to what is going on in our nation, the United States of Biafra government. Again, I welcome everyone here today at this space. Let me first start by highlighting the flawed judgment that happened today in the Nigerian court system. Many of us witnessed today. The judgment delivered by the terrorist Nigerian state against the leader of Biafrans, Nnamdi Kanu. We watched in awe, we watched how shameful the Nigerian state has once again exhibited the subjugation, the intimidation, the killing of innocent Christians, innocent Biafrans and indigenous Nigerians in that enclave called Nigeria. We all witnessed it today. The shambolic trial that has gone on for years. We saw that today. This judgment against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is unacceptable. This judgment is flawed. This judgment goes further to confirm witnessing the injustice by the Nigeria Fulani terrorists that are ruling that country as we speak today. That is exactly what they've exhibited today. Nnamdi Kanu is just one of them. There are thousands of innocent Biafrans that are being killed by the Nigerian state, being locked up by the Nigerian state, being incarcerated by the Nigerian state. As we speak, that has been ongoing. The only reason why today's case is in the public is because the Nigerian terrorist state wanted to prove a point. They wanted to prove a point. They wanted to become the ones that the world should be merciful for. The Nigerian state must go down for people to live. That which we watched today, that scam by the Nigerian state, is just one of thousands of intimidation, killing, subjugation of any Christian, any Biafran, any indigenous Nigeria that dare to question that oligarch, the bourgeois that place themselves in positions of authority in Nigeria and use the power and use the mineral resources from Biafra land and other southeast and south parts of Nigeria. They use that to intimidate the people, to subjugate the people, to kill the people, to imprison thousands of innocent Biafrans scattered in different jails across Nigeria. That is what Tinubu and his cohorts did today. Justice Omotosho once again played to the gallery of the terrorist leaders that sent him to sentence our Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu. I want to be very, very clear and bring it to the attention of the world. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not committed any crime. No, zero. All we saw today was the lies of the Nigerian state, which they continue to manipulate, which they continue to hit on innocent and indigenous Nigerians, framing them up, calling them terrorists, calling them terrorist financiers, just for them to silence them. This is one of that. They believe they've silenced Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu. They believe they've colluded with Finland to silence our Prime Minister Simon Eber. I saw the DSS list they brought out today on more, according to them, IPOB financiers that they want to try just and silence them the way they did in Nnamdi Kanu. And I saw the name of one innocent Laredo, one innocent guy, Ali Laredo, that has not committed any crime except to engage in his legal money business, which is exchange of foreign currency. That is his only crime. But today, the Nigerian government, Tinubu listed Ali Laredo as a terrorist financier. That is an absolute lie. That innocent guy has not committed any crime. He's not a terrorist financier. But Nigeria's state is a place that must be crushed for innocent people, for indigenous to live. They will kill everyone just to have their way. And this recent list released by the Nigerian Television Authority from the DSS, and I saw the names of those who they will go after. And I saw that innocent guy's name, Laredo there, and I know this guy has not done anything except the order from Tinubu to crush anyone that will stop him and his bourgeois from milking the natural resources that come from Biafra land. That is exactly what they are doing. Again, I want to let the world know the Nigerian state is the real terrorist. What they do is what they hit on other people. They are trying to play the innocent game. I was listening to Justice Omata show when he talked about the sit at home by Biafran people. Again, I want to use this opportunity to let the world know the voluntary sit at home is being carried out by over 50 million Biafrans, and it has been ongoing for the past 3 years. Nobody will stop that. It is a wish by Biafran people to continue to sit at home every Monday until Nnamdi Kanu is released, until Nigerian state, who is currently occupying a foreign land, which is the United States of Biafra, until they leave our land. So the Monday sit at home, it is a voluntary action by the United States of Biafran people, by indigenous Biafran people, willingly to let Nigerian state leave Biafra land. I also hear their lies about the answers, that Nnamdi Kanu was the one that engineered the answers. The answers that happened in Nigeria was a collective plan, a collective march by Nigerians to talk against the Nigerian police brutality against indigenous Nigerians. And during the answers march that was organized by the youth, Nigerian government, Tinubu and co, they sent out the reintegrated terrorists wearing Nigerian military and uniform to gun down 2 innocent Nigerians. And they lied against it. The worst is that they lie their way everywhere they go. They lied that no answers person was killed until the committee that was set up now came out with hundreds of innocent indigenous Nigerians that were murdered by the Nigerian state. Only at that could they now start playing around. Oh, people should come and identify their bodies and all that. But they lied. The Nigerian state lied that nobody was killed during the Answers march. That was their lie. But that was not the truth. Never the truth. The lies, the misinformation by the Nigerian state is what they continue to do every day. That is exactly what they've shown today during the judgment which they delivered on our Nnamdi Kanu. How can one deliver a judgment? How can you judge somebody in a law that does not exist? Close my door. That is totally unacceptable. Again, we saw that today. We saw so many of the things that were happening today in that trial, in that court. The reintegration of terrorists by the Nigerian state is something that is active. It is something that the government does. It is a planned, calculated attempt to Islamize Nigeria and Islamize all the Christians in Nigeria. It is a standing policy by the Nigerian state, headed by President Tinubu, to reintegrate non-terrorists like Boko Haram, ISWAP, all that into the Nigerian system, recruit them and hire them into the military and police, give them sophisticated weapons, AK-47, to go after those that are going to challenge that policy. That is exactly how thousands of Christians has been murdered in the Nigeria, and it's still being murdered as we speak. A priest was abducted in Kaduna. Many were killed. He was beheaded. Nigerian government negotiates with the terrorists that are inside the country. They know that they are terrorists. They call them bandits. No, they are not bandits. Initially, they tell the world it's a farmer-herder clash. It's not farmers-herders clash. No, it's not. Then they turn around to call them bandits. No, they are not bandits. These are known terrorists. Tinubu negotiates with the non-terrorists to stop the killing of Christians, but they are quick to kill Christians from the southeast, from the south part of Nigeria that complains about the killing, that complains about the reintegration of the non-terrorists, that complains about a country applying two laws, applying Sharia law in the north and other law in the southern part of Nigeria. That is what is obtained today. So if you are a Christian born in the northern part of Nigeria, Tinubu and God, they make you must obey the Sharia law. If not, they're going to cut off your head and kill you. That is what Nigeria does today. It is a policy. It is a standing policy. And now, they shamefully said they are sentencing Nnamdi Kanu to a life imprisonment. And the world here, Tinubu and Co. say, ordinarily, they will kill Nnamdi Kanu by hanging. They will commit him to death sentence. That's exactly what they said. But because of the outcry from the world, that is why they said they have to sentence him to life imprisonment. That is what Tinubu and Co. do every single day. Kill innocent indigenous Nigerians. Forceful removal was reported by Amnesty International. Thousands of indigenous Nigerians and innocent Christians have been forcefully removed from their homes by the Nigerian state headed by Tinubu. That is exactly what they do by the second, by the minute. Nothing will change that unless the absolute and total destruction of this entity called Nigeria. If that does not happen, thousands and millions of indigenous, innocent Nigerians and Biafrans will be murdered by the Nigerian state. So I want to use this opportunity to let the world know that Nnamdi Kanu has not committed any crime. All these trumped up charges that you see, the Fulani terrorists that are in that law court, that they are pronouncing, and some of them that are already on social media trying to misinform the world, those are their tactics. They've operated this system in the past 50, 60, 70 years that Nigeria has existed. Nigeria has existed. Nigeria expired in 2014. Every indigenous person at this time must go their own way. Must. That is what must happen for them to live. If not, these terrorists that are sanctioned and brought in by Tinubu and Co., they will overrun the whole indigenous of Nigeria and Biafra land. They've already made Nigeria a safe haven for terrorists. That's exactly what that place is right now. So I want to use this opportunity to let Nnamdi Kanu know that we, the United States of Biafra government, will stand with him. Be not moved. Nobody expects any fair judgment for Nnamdi Kanu from the Nigerian state. Nobody expects any fair judgment for any single Biafran from the Nigerian state. Nobody expects any fair judgment or fair treatment for any indigenous Nigeria from the Nigerian state. No one. We already know it's going to end up like this. Most Biafrans already know. But we are going to see how this game is going to end up. The United States of Biafra is a sovereign nation. As we speak, Nigeria is currently occupying a foreign land, and they must leave Biafra land. They must leave Biafra land. They must leave the 40 states of the United States of Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu is a freedom fighter. And the basic reason why he was doing what he was doing Nigeria don't care. As long as they continue to milk that oil and ship it abroad to those that partner in criminality with them, we, the United States of Biafra, we will stop that. That milking of our natural resources and using that to embolden terrorism, that must stop. And I thank the United States of America for stepping in to declare Nigeria a country of particular concern. And we are calling on them to increase more sanctions to any politician from the Nigerian state, including Tinubu, including Bianca, or not, the one that says he wants to come to the United States of America. Nigeria must be slammed with heavy sanctions for people to leave. It's not about being a country. Nigeria is not a country. It is a killing machine for Christians. It is a killing machine for indigenous Nigerians. They kill and they lie against those they are killing. Just the way they lied against Nnamdi Kanu today. Just the way they colluded with Finland to lie against Simon Ekpa. Just the way they are lying, and they've just sent 10 names of innocent. At least I can recognize one name there. That is an innocent indigenous Nigerian, Laredo. And Tinubu has declared him as a terrorist financier. How long? How long will this go on? Why we watch until they kill all of us? Until they take all of us as terrorist financiers? How long are we going to watch for the Nigerian terrorist state to kill, continue to deal with innocent indigenous Nigerians, innocent indigenous Christians, innocent Biafrans? How long are we going to watch while this happens? Meanwhile, they romance and negotiate with the real terrorists, whom they call bandits. But innocent citizens are termed terrorist financiers. They are termed engaging in terrorist activities because that is the language the globalists among them use. That is the language they use when they want to oppress, suppress, kill indigenous people. They term them terrorists. We are not terrorists. Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is not a terrorist. Nigeria state is the terrorist. That is why Nigeria has been declared as the most dangerous country in the world for Christians to live. I want to use this opportunity to let the world know the crushing of political opponent has been widely exhibited by the Nigerian government today, headed by Tinubu, in this trial of Nnamdi Kanu. This is an attempt to continue to crush and subjugate innocent citizens of Nigeria and their friends. The Nigerian state has murdered thousands of Christians and still continues to murder them today. And they continue to negotiate with them. They don't sentence them to life. No, they don't. They negotiate with the terrorists because they brought them in to help them win elections, to continue to be in power, to continue to milk the oil reserve from the southern part of Nigeria. That is the major reason why they continue to integrate and rehabilitate non-terrorists. Like I said, I don't like to use the word rehabilitate because they don't rehabilitate them. They reintegrate them, hire them into the Nigerian military and police. Give them AK-47 to go after anyone that talks against what they're doing, just like they went after Nnamdi Kanu today. That's what Tinubu and co does.
And we cannot control what anyone wants to do. We can't control it.
Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. But you know what? We know it's going to look like this. Nigeria can never stop the killing of Christians. That is all they do. They send all their agents on social media to misinform, to lie about what is going on in Nigeria. I heard one of them today saying that any action by America is going to exacerbate a worsen division along religious lines. That is absolutely misinformation, absolutely lie. Somebody called Oge Onubogo or something, and they use the divide and conquer. They will send so-called Biafrans to come out and speak on their behalf. These are agents that gain from the systemic subjugation and intimidation of indigenous Nigerians by the Nigerian state. So some of these individuals they sent on social media, they're planning to send to America again. I know America knows better than the lies and misinformation of the Nigerian state. The deceit. They label us terrorists. They label innocent Biafrans as terrorists. Do not be surprised if they label me as terrorist tomorrow. That is the Nigerian state for you. They leave the terrorists, the main terrorists that are murdering thousands of innocent Christians. They don't label them terrorists, but they go after those that speak against their policies and their actions. That is why sanctions must be initiated against the Nigerian state for people to leave. Just for people to leave. If not, the world leaders cannot stand and watch as millions of indigenous Nigerians and indigenous Biafrans are being murdered every day by Tinubu and their cohorts using their criminal state to perpetuate those crimes against innocent people, not as if they obey international laws. I call on these international bodies to immediately expel Nigeria, but from the African Union, from the United Nations, from the Commonwealth. Nigeria has no business being in those organizations, and the continued allowance of Nigeria to be in those organizations is making the world a very, very dangerous place. Nigeria must be expelled immediately from the African Union, from the Commonwealth, from the United Nations. They have no business being there because they do not obey the laws of these organizations. What they do is to plant their Fulani reintegrated terrorists in positions of authority in these organizations, in United Nations, in African Union, in Commonwealth, and make them die down. The killing of Christians in that part of the world. That is why they pay heavily during elections to put their own people in those positions in Commonwealth, in African Union, in United Nations. And we see them. We see them in those organizations. We see them in those positions where they die down. The criminality of the Nigerian state, they pay heavily to put their stooges in those positions. Just like you have the one in the United Nations, just like we have the one in the African Union, just like we have the one in the Commonwealth. We know how they operate. Nigeria must be immediately expelled from these noble organizations for their credibility and for their integrity to be maintained in the world. Again, I'm using this opportunity to call for the immediate suspension of Nigeria from the African Union and other organizations where human rights charters supersede country laws. Yes, countries have their independence and laws, because that is the narrative Nigeria keeps misinforming the world. Yeah, we are an independent country. We have our laws. Like I heard the old man today was saying about the Constitution of Nigeria. I want them to say, oh, people have the right for them to self-determination, but self-determination must be done under the Nigerian Constitution. So when Nigeria becomes a member nation of United Nations, of African Union, of the Commonwealth, the laws that are maintained by these organizations, is it not to make great leaders to be disciplined? Is it not meant to make leaders like Tinubu and the Fulani terrorists ruling Nigeria. Those laws in those organizations, are they not made to curb their excesses? Are they not made to curb their criminality? Are they not meant to make sure that the world becomes a better place? But today, we hear Tinubu through their stooges saying, yes, Nnamdi Kanu has a right to self-determination, but self-determination must be under the constitution of the Nigerian state. How factual is that? How factual is that? Who determines? If we allow Commonwealth, United Nations, all these other countries, all these beautiful organizations to make their laws subservient to the states, to the countries, to the leaders, then that means we are all gone. That means we are all gone. That is why Nigeria does not respect any law of all these organizations they belong to. The United Nations set up a committee for the extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. That committee recommended that Nnamdi Kanu should be left alone, should be released by the Nigerian government and be compensated. Did Nigeria do that? No. Did the United Nations take any action against that? No. Because the Deputy Secretary to the United Nations, the army that is a Nigerian stooge that is right there, she used her power to disrupt anything that will go against Nigeria. So that woman should be fired immediately from the United Nations. Keeping Nigeria in any of these organizations of importance is continuing the killing of innocent Nigerians, indigenous Nigerians, and indigenous Biafrans. That can never be allowed to go on. They don't follow the rules made by these organizations they belong to. And some of the world leaders, you sit on the same table with this criminal state, and you want the world to believe in these organizations. That is not going to happen. That will not happen. Appropriate sanctions must be taken against Nigeria immediately for people to leave. I also listened to one of the Nigerian attorneys, the prosecutors, saying self-determination laws, decolonization laws, human rights laws, which are widely and widely accepted to make the world a better place, it does not apply to Nigeria. That is exactly what they are telling you. It does not apply to Nigeria. According to him, Tinubu clearly believes that the law of Nigeria supersedes any international organization they belong to. That is why they are very reckless in their activities. And nobody is doing anything about that. That cannot continue. Because if we allow the leaders of countries in the world to carry out activities, to do things they want, then this world will be a very dangerous place for our children, for our grandchildren, yet unborn. That is why Nigeria must be confronted with appropriate sanctions to make people live, to make the world a better place. They thrive on criminality. They thrive on bribery. Anywhere they see something good is going to happen, they send their agents there. They bribe them. Most of the ambassadors they send into Nigeria, they bribe them with choice cars, choice homes, choice money. That is why when they engage in their criminality, those embassies, they don't talk. Those ambassadors, they don't talk. How long are we going to continue to allow things like that happen? How are we going to make countries, how are we going to make the world a better place? Again, I want to use this opportunity to let the world know that the killing of Christians by the Nigerian state can never stop if Nigeria does not obey and follow the laws of different organizations established in the world to make the world a better place. Over five courts discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu, including the court in Kenya. But today, Nigerian government has jailed him for life. And what does that tell the world? What does that tell the world? And you have their agents scattered all over the world, lying and misinforming people. That is the world those in Nigeria, indigenous Nigeria, live in. That is why the United States of Biafra has declared their independence through a self-referendum where over 50 million Biafrans voted to exit Nigeria. And on November 29th, 2024, thousands of Biafrans gathered in Lati, Finland to declare our independence. That independence must be respected by every country in the world. It is a choice of the people. We've spoken. That must be respected, regardless of who you are. Because we cannot continue to live with a country that reintegrates non-terrorists into the military and the police. That is a clear red signal danger to the world. The targeting of Christians by the Nigerian state cannot continue. Nigeria must crumble for people to live. There is nothing, absolutely nothing to gain with the continued existence of that entity called Nigeria, except bloodshed by the minute, by the second, being engineered, being orchestrated, and being supported by the Nigerian politicians. Every Nigerian politician must be banned from visiting countries with integrity like the United States of America. They must be banned. Everywhere Nigeria goes, they spread pollution, they spread blood, they spread killing, they spread crime. Anywhere Nigerian politicians go. That is why this cannot continue. This crime against humanity, this crime against humanity cannot continue. We cannot allow it to continue. A Kenyan court, an appeal court, an Enugu court, an Aba court, all these courts has acquitted Nnamdi Kanu. And when we see him in court fighting for his dear life, some people say, oh, he's stubborn, he doesn't want to listen. Put yourself in the shoe of Nnamdi Kanu, where your brother, your sister, your mother has been murdered by the Nigerian state. Put yourself in his shoe and tell me what you would do if you were in his position. Tell me what you would do. You will be smiling. You will behave like a disciplined child. You will not talk. You will just bow your head. You will say yes when they want you to say yes. You will say no when they want you to say no. If you were in his shoes, and in the shoes of thousands of indigenous Biafrans whose mothers, fathers, breadwinners have been killed by Tinubu and the Nigerian state, what will you do? Tell me what you will do. Why their agents carry out lies on Twitter, on social media, lying their way everywhere. They expect us to keep quiet. They expect you to be confused. They will tell you, oh, Muslims are killed alive. No, Muslims are not killed alive the way they kill Christians in Nigeria. And it's not just the killing. The full integration of Nigeria into the IOC, into the Islamic organization, is not acceptable by the Christians that reside in Nigeria. You cannot carry a whole bunch of Christians and dump them into the IOC, and you expect us to live by the laws of the Sharia law. That is not going to happen. And that is not acceptable. That is what Nigeria has done. That is why today, Nigeria is a member of the Islamic organization. Did we approve that? No. Did the Biafran Christians approve that? No. And they use these laws against the Christians, whether you like it or not. That is not going to be acceptable. This sentence thing today means nothing to the full restoration and declaration which we already done of the United States of Biafra. If Tinubu and God thinks that this thing they did today to Nnamdi Kanu will stop Biafra, will stop us. And I'm telling them, we will come out in a different way. They've never seen Biafrans before. It is a practice. You cannot continue to jail our mothers, kill our mothers, kill our fathers, our brothers and sisters, lock them up, and you expect us to keep quiet. Never, never. This game has just begun today. It's a promise. Let's get to the root of all these problems, which Nigeria has refused to address. The root of all these problems include the marginalization of Biafrans, the marginalization of indigenous Nigerians, the killing of Christians in Nigeria, the killing of innocent Biafrans that have not committed any crime, the injustice, the milking of our natural resources without any compensation, and the killing of anyone that seeks for fair treatment for our people, not obeying any judicial laws. Nigeria does not obey the laws, even the law they made. That was why Nnamdi Kanu was asking them, under what law are you trying me? Under a law that's been repealed? They couldn't. They have nothing. They said he got a transmitter. He bought a transmitter. Yes, he got a transmitter. That's what Nigeria said. For what? To transmit the injustice, to tell our people to run away when the Nigerian integrated terrorists are coming to kill them. And what is a transmitter? Because of that, you're going to jail Nnamdi Kanu for life. Really? Really? And you think there'll be peace in that part of the world? Never. It's a promise. I'm not talking about not obeying the judicial laws unless it pleases Tinubu, the bourgeois, and the Fulani Caliphate that are controlling and ruling Nigeria. And unless it pleases their European counterparts, they collaborate with to milk the resources of Biafrans. The reintegration of terrorists to the Nigerian state, the reintegration of terrorists, they spread across the world, the reintegration of non-terrorists like Boko Haram, ISIS, Israel, that found a safe haven in Nigeria, of which Nnamdi Kanu was just speaking against that, just the way we are speaking. You cannot continue to reintegrate non-terrorists that kill my people, and you allow me to keep quiet. That was why Nigeria has jailed him for life. And some of you think it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. The United States of Biafra government will never even allow what happened to Nnamdi Kanu to happen to any United States of Biafra individual. Nigeria must leave Biafra land. Nigeria is currently occupying a foreign land. The undermining of the freedom of the people. The killing of thousands of Christians while negotiating with the terrorists carrying chains of guns on their necks. The lack of respect for basic human rights. Clamp down of oppositional political views, such as they did to Nnamdi Kanu, such as they colluded with Finland to do to Simon Epa, such as they listed the innocent Laredo that they published on ATA News today, such as they did to thousands of Biafrans, languishing in different jails, in different DSS jails, in different police stations, in different army barracks around the country. All these, Tinubu is not addressing it. He don't care about that. As long as he has ordered his men to continue the forceful removal of Biafrans from their home so that he can continue to milk the oil and natural resources of Biafra and ship it abroad to their partners. That's all they care for. The basic problems that cause what is happening today, Tinubu does not want to address that. He and the Nigerian politicians, they are not addressing that. But not anymore. We must address that. That has been taken care of by the independence of the United States of Biafra. We need our own nation. We have our own nation. We cannot continue to live in a country where Sharia laws are applied to Christians. We all remember the killing, the burning of Deborah in the northern part of Nigeria. She didn't commit any crime. She was just a Christian. But Tinubu and co, they engineered the burning of that innocent Christian. What did they do about that? Absolutely nothing. The next thing they tell you, they try to tell America, oh, Christians and Muslims are killed alive. We are going to go ahead and flush out the terrorists in our land. No, Nigeria is not flushing any terrorists. What they are doing is going after those Christians that oppose the reintegration of terrorists and labeling them as terrorists. That's what they do. The real terrorists, they don't go near them. They negotiate with the real terrorists. We Christians, we Biafrans are the ones Tinubu is saying they are fishing out the terrorists. For we don't go into Biafran forests, they go into our homes, bring out innocent indigenous Biafrans and Nigerians, kill them, label them, tag them terrorists. They'll come out and tell you they've killed 50 terrorists, they've killed 20 bandits. No, these people Tinubu is killing are innocent indigenous Nigerians and innocent indigenous Biafrans. They are not going near the terrorists. I'm telling the world to know this now. And then they come out and tell you they are going after the banditry because Donald Trump told them to go after that. No, they are intensifying their killing, subjugation, intimidation of innocent indigenous Nigerians and indigenous Biafrans. That is exactly what Tinubu is doing. That is why the collapse of Nigeria must happen. It must happen for people, innocent indigenous, to live. There are no two ways about that. We need very stringent sanctions against the Nigerian state. And we also need the world to recognize the United States of Biafra that was declared in Latin Finland on November the 29th, 2024. Without that, without these two actions, the killing of Christians in Nigeria, we see an unprecedented level. Because the people that Tinubu and the politicians are killing and labeling as terrorists and bandits are innocent Christians. They are not the terrorists. I promise you that. They are not the terrorists. They cannot get near the terrorists. They negotiate with the terrorists. They hire the terrorists into the Nigerian military and police because indigenous Nigerians do not join Nigerian military and police anymore. They do not. Because they are polluted with reintegrated terrorists. Again, I want to use this opportunity to bring this is one of the actions of things they do to thousands of indigenous Nigerians and indigenous Biafrans. They do that every single day. They kill them every single day. They kill them through the policies of the reintegration of terrorists into Nigeria. It is a standing policy. State. So do not be deceived by anything they tell you. He who wears the shoe knows where it pinches. We are the people that knows where this pain comes from. Nobody else. Nobody else. We know that. You can have an idea. As we speak today, another Catholic priest has been executed. Nigeria lie their ways. They lie their ways everywhere. What happened today? They heap all the problem they cause, all the Nigerian problem, they try to heap it on the head of Nnamdi Kanu. Let no one be deceived by that. No one should be carried away by that. All this problem they hit on Nnamdi Kanu said, it's the problem engineered by Tinubu and the Nigerian state. But at the end of the day, the Christians and the indigenous Nigerians, we are always the scapegoats to the criminality of the Nigerian state. So we know that's what they do every day. They deflect all the evils they commit by using Nnamdi Kanu's case. They did this to let you all. Kanu was saying, oh, all those lies they heaped on Nnamdi Kanu with all the paid witnesses they brought. Nnamdi Kanu said they want the head of this person because of this. But Nigeria state has not told you the thousands of innocent Christians they murder every single day. And nobody accounts for that. The indigenous of Biafrans have been murdered in their numbers. Thousands were murdered in Hepi Jonisha, in Mbonisha, in Aba, in Hamufu, in the Niger Delta. Many indigenous Biafrans has been murdered by the Nigerian state, by Tinubu. Who is talking about that? Somebody should answer me. Who is talking? The Nigerian police, by the Nigerian military, by the Nigerian DSS. Who is going to talk for them? Or you think they are not humans, right? You think they don't deserve somebody to speak for them? Then when Nnamdi Kanu wants to speak for them, Nigerian state, Tinubu labeled him a terrorist. That is exactly what they do. What has those innocent indigenous Biafrans done? Nothing, except let my people go. Except we want our own nation. Except we have the right to self-determination. Except saying we do not want to be decolonized. We want no one to colonize us. That's exactly what Biafrans are saying. And there are laws, international humanitarian laws that guide. As a citizen, you have the right to do everything within your power to stop somebody who is colonizing you. It is our right, and we are going to use that. Those thousands of killings Tinubu and Co. is doing, they didn't report it. They didn't say it during the trial of Nnamdi Kanu. No, they did not. The OB killings engineered by the legitimate Southeast and South governors working directly with the Nigerian terrorist state. You didn't hear that during that trial today. No, nobody heard that. Because Nigeria lie. They can lie their way to have whatever they want. But you know what? You know what? We are going to stop that. The United States of Biafra government, we will stop this terrorist state of Nigeria. It is our task to stop this terrorism in this part of the world. And I want to use this opportunity to call on all well-meaning country leaders to support the United States of Biafra, to stop this menace of the Nigerian state, to stop this killing of the Nigerian state, to stop this marginalization, subjugation, intimidation by Tinubu and the Nigerian politicians, to stop the criminality of the Nigerian state, where thousands of dollars, billions of dollars have been acquired just by one individual. Why the community lavishes in abject poverty, no good road. There's nowhere in Nigeria today you have pipe-borne water. There is no pipe-borne water. You cannot enter your house and open the tap and collect drinking water. Not in Nigeria. If you build a house, you must build a borehole. It is from that borehole that the people living in that place will be pumping water to the tank upstairs, and from the tank they will have water in their different apartments. And this is a country that some of you milk the natural and oil resources, thousands of billions of dollars. You take it away from the innocent indigenous that need that. See, people collude with the politicians, and you take that away from our people. Why they die from basic illnesses. When Tinubu is sick, he flies to France. When these politicians are sick, they fly abroad. Why fly abroad when they can develop those healthcare centers in Nigeria? Why? And some of you think it's fair. And some of you think we can continue like that. No, never. We cannot. Again, I just want to use this opportunity to thank the Biafran people as we go through this tragedy, which is 1 in a million, being carried out by the Nigerian state on a daily basis against Biafran Christians. Biafrans are Christians. The United States of Biafra government will continue to use every legal way, every means possible to defend our land. Self-defense is our right. I'm calling on the Nigerian state at this point to remove every Nigerian military or police in Biafra territory. The United States of Biafra is a sovereign nation as we speak today. You are currently occupying a foreign land. You must remove the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian security from Biafra territory, from the 40 states of Biafra land. Tinubu, I'm calling on you to remove the Nigerian police military currently in Biafra land because we are a sovereign nation. That is the expectation. On that note, Honorable Mouthpiece, we are going to take 1 or 2 or 3 comments, and that will be it for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. I yield.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I don't. Maybe you have to bring in the people you want to speak. Maybe if they have any comment, because I don't have the co-host to bring in anybody. I think if you can co-host me, then maybe
Okay.
I can.
All right, Famdi, go ahead. I'll bring them in. Thank you.
Okay.
It's off. Okay, it's on now.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Honorable Famdi and the Honorable Secretary for Finance for the United States of Biafra government.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Famdi. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Her Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister and Chief of Staff of the United States of Biafra. Thank you, Biafrans, for listening. We understand how each and every one of us feel. But what happened today is a fuel that really sets in our mind and in our head the need for our freedom. Thank you, Her Excellency. You have delivered an absolutely excellent brief here. It can be better than this. Today, as the Deputy Prime Minister summarized, it's a travesty of justice. Nigeria at her best, perpetrating not only terrorism in the killing field, which is the Nigeria ground, but in the judiciary. Nigeria, which is a #1 terrorist country in the world today, has shown the world what they are. These are people that lie to the pit of hell. I don't know if you all saw it, that today also our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, pointed to the terrorist DSS man who attacked him in detention in their dungeon. This is a gross abuse. He's been denied medical care. And also today, he pointed out to the abuser. And I'm sure the world wouldn't let that pass. They've all along refused camera in the courts. Today, they had a camera in there. And what did our leader do? Nothing. This is a country that has perpetrated and done the most heinous kidnapping and act of extraordinary rendition. And now they are benefiting from their criminal acts. It doesn't happen that way. The world saw it. This is a man that has done nothing wrong. Even the appeal court set him free. The Kenyan court set him free. The Enugu court set him free. But what does the terrorist Nigerian government and their terrorist judiciary want? Biafrans, we are bleeding. And I know the world mourns with us. But what Biafra needs now is support. The disintegration of Nigeria terrorist government is the only solution that everyone should work for. We have tried several years, more than a century. It's not working. Can you imagine? See how these terrorists, now their judiciary. Did their judiciary see these terrorist Fulanis that are really smashing the heads of Biafrans with all these metal ions, smashing it like watermelon, as if we are not human beings? Please, the world needs to help and save Biafra. The world needs to hurry up to help and save the Christian Biafrans and some other ethnic groups that are Christian. For innocent people. Thank you all. Thank you, Her Excellency, for what you have done today. Your brief is more than 100%.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, Honorable Famdian. Please, as you are on the mic, please raise up your hand. I will call you as I see your hand up. And please, it is only 1 minute. Please, only 1 minute that is needed for anything you want to say, whether it's a question or any advice. Please, 1 minute. If your hand is not raised, I will not call you, please. And I will also want to add to what Her Excellency and our Honorable Famdian said. We cannot hold on to what anyone who loves United States of Biafra or our leader Nnamdi Kanu, whatever they want to do, we don't have any power to stop whatever they want to do. So we go to Brother Don. The mic is yours. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening. Our DPN. What a great speech. And he said it all. Said everything that is in my mind. Thank you for everything you have done and for coming up this evening to encourage some people who are weak. You see, as a matter of fact, unless people who don't have spiritual eyes, we know that this is where they want to head to. They are heading to. Okay? It's been playing, They have gone, he have won, Onyendu won them in every court in the whole world, both United Nations, both Amnesty, but everybody said, let this guy go. Let him go. No, they still hold. They still hold on till death. And they don't allow him to speak, nothing to, to make the final speech. No, you don't say anything because we have decided. The template has already been written. We're going to deliver. Let the world do what they want to do because this is a sovereign nation, like they say. Since 2014, it ended up, in the way it is written, but they're still calling, you must be here. My brothers and sisters, the only thing I want to say to you, if you don't know that it is United States of Biafra or nothing that is already declared, restored since 29th of November. And thank you, DPM, for taking that, putting your legs into that shoe and did what you did on the 29th. That saved us a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you for that. Look, everything has been done. We have to move on. If they didn't win the first war, the first war in 1960, that's 67 to 70, I saw it. I was a militia. I saw everything played out. They didn't win us for that 3 years. Since Onyendo has been there, till date, we are still standing. And since we did that restoration, we are still standing. They are fools. If anybody doesn't know that Fulani has shifted this thing to Yoruba, who really wanted to prove something because they see us as the people they have to subdue. The Yorubas are cowards, and I continue to say it. They just wanted to, they felt that we are the people they have to get down as to rule Nigeria forever. And Tinubu has an offshore refinery to continue to milk. I don't think he's going to live till 2027. Anybody can say what they want, but I want to tell them, if anything happened to Onyendu, just a tittle of his hair, I decree and declare that that happened in Egypt, your first sons will be falling down in now and there every day. The firstborn sons of the Yorubas will be going down, because personally to me, they are people that we have to fight. Even in Twitter, in everything, we get them down. We expose them as much as they are. God bless you. I'm not good. Let somebody else
Thank you
speak.
so much.
Okay.
Let's go to the next.
Thank you. No, Your Excellency, I told them to raise up their hands, and
It's okay.
these people,
The
and
hands are raised. Please just call them. There are people now already brought in.
I can't see their hands, Your Excellency. So I don't know. I can't see their hands. I don't know who's next. So I
Okay.
can't see their
I
hands
think
from my end.
let me see. I think
I don't see any hand.
I don't
hold
see
on.
any hands up at all.
Okay, hold on. I see. Hold on 1 second. Now, please put on make you co-host so you can see. We brought in 6 people.
Okay, okay.
It's
I see.
only now I see Joe Bling raise his
Yes.
hand. Yes. So Joe Bling, the mic is yours.
Yeah, good evening, dear friends. Just want to put a few words through. What happened in the court today is a very big blow to Biafrans, and we are looking at it, and Nigeria know what they've done. So I don't believe that this is a defeat, but rather we shall see this as a stepping stone. No way that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be incarcerated for life. It's not going to happen. Never when Biafra is still existing. And again, I saw this lady, Ngozi something, Bugu something. Man, I don't know who that lady went to represent, but it's a shame to entire Igbo race as somebody like that would stand up and be speaking for Nigeria and international TV when we needed people who could speak up. But that is a shame. So, Biafrans, I don't think this will lead us to war. Rather, we should hope and pray that America completes the quest they have started. Donald Trump, he has the promise that is going to help Biafrans. This is our prayer right now in Nigeria. I know on our own we cannot do it in Nigeria because the state of Nigeria is 100% ready and looking for any loopholes to fight the Biafrans. Rather, we should help and also these people that will also speak for Biafrans all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, the next person is Simon Izuchukwu. That's the hand I see up.
Yeah, Matisse Kelemge, Mama Diane Kelemge,
You're
Mama
welcome.
Biafra, Dr.
Mm.
Ngozi Orabeze, Odogunwani, Ogranyangadange Kelemge Wine, Kelemge.
Sorry, hold on, Simon Izuchukwu, please. Honorable, can you mute, Honorable Fandian, can you mute your mic because we are getting a feedback? Thank you. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, Kamba Pioso, Emma. Ndị Igbo anya na-anụ ntị a na ha mgbe ọla ihe mewere gị gwa ha n'oge a na-anụ ọ mgbadite na eruziri mmiri ruzie ha n'ọnụ ha chọmọzị nna fugoto she play today and they sentenced somebody. They came to his house to kill 28 people without no bullet, no gun, nothing, no stick. When they are reading their rubbish, I was listening to hear all those things. I didn't hear it. The sentenced man, they killed 28 people, both dog, the mother, the father died. The sentenced man who they killed 150 people in Aba without no gun, no bullet, no action. The sentenced man that was praying, they killed them. The sentenced man they killed, we could kill 3,500 people in Obibo. Nigeria didn't hear it today. After everything, no action, no investigation, nobody came to say, yes, I was there. Somebody only speech. He make a hate speech and you sentence him for terrorism. Ndị Igbo nna afụghị ya. Ndị Awụsa gburula isi ha. Yoruba eburuzi ya n'isi. Everybody, him na my advice today. Let all of us put hand on deck and support this government. Ihe ọbụla ọ ga-eri, ihe ọbụla ọ ga-eme, gọọmenti chọrọ n'aka anyị ka anyị na-enye nụ ya. Make sure that we regain our freedom. Life without freedom is useless. Thank you, and God bless you, Mama Biafra.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Simon Izuchukwu. As I don't see some hands up, I'm going to start calling names out. So I go to Dr. Nana. The mic is yours, Dr. Nana. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Honorable Mouthpiece. Good evening, Your Excellency, Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, and all the cabinet members listening, fellow citizens of United States of Biafra. I greet you all. Well, I don't have much to say, but to encourage Biafrans. This is a time, not a time for us to be emotional. I know what has happened demands such, but this is time for us to buckle up and do what we know how to do best. This is not time for blaming anybody or gossiping up and down. This is time for us to come together as one people, to speak in one voice, because this has been going on for a long time now, and the world is watching. They are all looking at what we can be able to do. And thankfully, the government of United States of Biafra have been doing a lot. But you know, some people will be expecting magic. They'll just sit at the comfort of their rooms, expecting miracles to happen. Meanwhile, this freedom is not for any particular individual. This is our collective struggle. The Nigerian state did not only sentence Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they sentenced the whole Igbos to life imprisonment, the whole Biafrans. So it is us that will have to free ourselves. Nobody will help us. We should not be relying on anybody. Nobody is coming for rescue. So that is what the message I want to pass to Biafrans. Everybody that are still sitting on the fence, hoping that this struggle is meant for a particular group of individuals. You are just dreaming. This is our struggle. This is our collective effort. And one thing I want to let us know is that Nigeria, they are good at playing mind games. You know, they are on hot seats already. They are receiving international woto everywhere. So they just want to use this one to distract the attention of the world from the key point, which is the Christian genocide that everybody is now talking about. So let us not be moved and let us not be distracted. They just want to instill, to twinkle our emotions so that we all go out and then they will now say, oh, the Igbos are the cause of the problems. Now they will now focus their attention on Southeast, which is what they want. They want conventional war, and we will not fall for that. We continue to engage them the way we have been engaging them. And we thank God that it is yielding a very good result. We engage them in a multidimensional approach, just like our PM used to say. We are engaging them diplomatically, we are engaging them, and we engage them even if the need be, because it's only a tree that you say you cut down and the tree will remain there. But when you tell somebody that you're going to kill him, he must defend himself. And I think this is the right time for every Biafran to get ready to defend his or herself, because nobody is coming for your rescue. We are on our own. We need to show the world that we are being pushed to the wall. It's only the time that we will react, that is when the world will come for our help. But if we are waiting for somebody to come and we need to raise our hands up before they will be able to pull us out. So I'm not saying anybody should start going around destroying things, but you know what I'm trying to say. You have to do the needful because it has reached to that level. So I thank everybody that attended to this space, and I thank the DPM for the wonderful speech, for letting the world know the atrocities that this terrorist state has committed against our people and against indigenous Nigerians. Enough is enough. It is high time the international community do the needful by placing sanction on Nigeria, because it is long overdue. We cannot be folding our hands and trying to be politically correct while people kill a mass in greater every day. And then we are talking politics for action. My message to the international community: this is time for you to act. This is no more time for paperwork. This is time for action. Except you want to see millions of people dead in that part of the world. And the only way you can help to salvage millions of lives, millions of Christians, is by recognizing the United States of Biafra, which is a sovereign nation already. We declared our independence on 29th of November 2024. You recognizing Biafra as an independent state solve the problem of Christian genocide by 50 to 60%. Then the remaining or other percentage that are scattered around middle belts, we as a sovereign nation can give protection to some of these Christians. We can open our borders for them to come and seek refuge in our territory, while the international community go ahead to deal with those terrorists. So this is a suggestion to the international community listening to my voice this evening. Recognition of Biafra is very, very paramount in order to avoid the chaos that is going to befall Nigeria in the nearest future. So thank you very much, and may God bless everyone that have attended to this space. I yield my mic.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Nana. I want to quickly, well, before we call the next person, I know there are a couple of speakers. So we see the speakers, just as the people that have requested to speak. I want to just do a little highlight on the narrative that the Nigerian state usually used to misinform the world. The narrative about killing of security personnel, the narrative they throw out there. What Tinubu and the Nigerian state has continuously lied to the world, forget to tell the world, is the thousands of indigenous Nigerians that have been murdered by the Nigerian security personnel during the march in Aba, when innocent indigenous Biafrans, they all dressed in white on white, to call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, unarmed, innocent Biafrans on the streets of Aba. The Nigerian state sent their security personnel with live bullets. They killed over 200 innocent, unarmed, innocent Biafrans. They were just marching. Tinubu will not tell you this. Justice Omotosho will not tell you this. The Nigerian delegitimized politicians will not tell you this. The thousands of innocent indigenous Nigerians and Christians that have been murdered by the Nigerian security personnel. But they will be the first to jump and shout, a Nigerian security personnel has been killed by maybe anyone. They will use that as a plot to kill, to destroy the indigenous Nigerians and indigenous Biafrans. No, they don't tell you that. When Finland conducted the shambolic trial on behalf of the Nigerian state against our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, they never showed all the killings conducted by the Nigerian security personnel against innocent indigenous Biafrans, innocent indigenous Nigerians. Thousands of Christians that are murdered every day due to the policy of the Nigerian state to reintegrate non-terrorists into Nigeria. They don't show you that. They will tell you they are fighting terrorism. Nigerian government is not fighting any terrorism. They are aiding and abetting and encouraging terrorism. That's what they do. and the media, the Nigerian media, and some international media like the BBC, they are very selective on the information they send out to the world. The Queen of BBC is a stooge of the terrorist state of Nigeria. I'm telling you that. The way they report information in the southern part of Nigeria is different from the way they report it in Hausa Pidgin, and in Hausa BBC, in the Pidgin BBC, in the Igbo BBC. Different methods, different criteria. They downplay the ills, the Christians of the killing of Christians in Biafra territory, in the southeast part of Nigeria. Why they enhance any information that comes to BBC Hausa. So the report you get from BBC Hausa is different from the report you get from the BBC Middle Belt. Is different from the report you get from BBC Igbo or Pidgin or even the international BBC. Different. Nigeria state has criminalized the media, the whole media, most of them, that their eyes have been tied to the genocide going on every single day in Nigeria. They don't report that. Some Congress members, they don't believe that. Some media, they downplay that. Because Nigeria bribed their way into all these people. They bribed their way into BBC, into some of these congressmen that believe nothing is going on. Just the way they bribe their way into the United Nations by placing the lady that is there, bribe their way into the African Union by placing the guy that was there, bribe their way into the Commonwealth by placing those people at those top positions that died down the genocide going on in Nigeria every second. Tinubu does not do anything. Not that he's not doing enough. He does not do anything. And nothing can stop this machinery of killing unless the destruction of that entity called Nigeria. Anything short of that, the world will see another safe heaven in that part of the world. And from that safe heaven, Nigeria state and the terrorists are going to launch brutal attacks to countries like the United States of America and all the civilized Western world, because according to them, Western is evil. They are ready to attack that. That is their belief. That is their belief. We have a woman that lost 5 children. 5 of her kids were killed by the Nigeria terrorist state. Many, no compensation. What Tinubu does is to move them. The remaining ones, you tell them to go and live in IDP camps. Is IDP camp their homes? How can the country that have all the mineral and rich resources be placing their citizens in IDP camps while the terrorists are taking over their homes? Right under the watch of Tinubu, and Tinubu is lying. His politicians lying all over the world that they are fighting bandits. That's what they call them. No, they are not doing anything. It's not as if they are not doing enough. They are not doing anything. It is the Christians that they bring out and kill them and persecute them and label them terrorists. Just the way they've labeled our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, just the way they've labeled Nnamdi Kanu, just the way they've been labeling thousands of Biafrans and thousands of Christians, labeling them as terrorists. And some gullible ones, some gullible Christians believe them. Shame if you believe anything that comes out from the mouth of any politician from the state of Nigeria. That is why that country must be destroyed for people to live. It must be destroyed for people to live. All world leaders must join the United States of Biafra to put heavy sanctions on Nigeria and call for the immediate dissolution of that country. If not, people are going to continue to die by the seconds. Uncountable. The media in Nigeria, they do not report, they downplay that. And I have typical statistical examples where deaths have been presented to some of this media. They don't report it. They don't report that because they are scared. Once they report it, Nigeria will send their terrorists to kill them or burn down their homes. That is not a country. No one can stop the destruction of Nigeria. Nobody, no individual. Nobody, I promise you. Let's go to the next speaker. Let's take
Honorable Sister Olewone.
I think General C was there. Sister Olewone, hold on one second. General C, go ahead. Then Olewone, go ahead, please.
Okay. General Comrade, go ahead. And Sister Leone, you can come after the general. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. I greet everybody. Well done. Good evening, good morning. Your efforts and your wonderful leadership. I appreciate. And I want to give you more kudos to your powerful speech, what you motivated everybody. You keep making us to be aware that you still have us in your heart and you are still ready to be more strong in your leadership. I appreciate that. So I want to thank you and ask God to protect you, ask God to protect your family, ask God to protect your schools, those you are working with, so that more wisdom, more enlightenment will come up. So my own point is this. I've already listened to what you told us. I've already listened to everything, but I just want to cue in my own little suggestion. I know that you are really doing well for us, but what happened now that Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment is a very big something that happened to everybody in Igbo land. Something like somebody say is a psychological something that they want to cage all the Igbo so that Igbo people will not speak again. If you watch how things been done, and I wonder what the politicians of Igbo that are serving in Nigeria will be thinking about. I don't understand, because I think those people that will suffer it most are the civilians, the Igbo civilians. And very soon we don't know the next thing they can do. So I want to understand that we Igbos are now in a very big problem in Nigeria, in a very big problem, and we need to know what to do. So my honorable leader, please, I'm not saying that you are not trying. I'm not saying that you're not doing well. You are doing all your best and you're doing all your efforts. You are trying all your best, but I don't think that we can also fold hands and be watching things going like this. Because the next target may be you, because they already hold Nnamdi Kanu, they already hold Simon, but the next person they will be look for is you, on how to get you. So I think it is right time the Biafran government, especially you as our leader, we put more effort to work with the USA government. Now the USA government are trying all their best to bring an end to all this Christian killing in Nigeria. And when they say something like Christian killing, they will say it's happening in eastern side, something like that. So it's right time we can go and negotiate with the USA government, please, if it can be more possible, because I think it's the best thing to do now. We have mineral resources in our side. We have mineral resources in our country, in Biafra side. I say that if you're in a better position to negotiate, give the USA government 30 years, 40 years to work with you. Give them, you need something to follow.
Thank you so much. As far as our options and what we're going to do, don't worry about that. We are doing everything possible. And again, those suggestions, people just say things that are on their mind and all that. But again, The government is working steadily with all the necessary rules that guide a new nation, and we are following everything we need to do to make sure that we get our allies to support us to protect our land. So again, your opinion is said there, but we don't want to waste more time on the recommendations on what the government is going to do or not. This is not that we're talking about the ruling that the Nigerian terrorist state did today, and I truly appreciate. So if you can round up, we'll go to the next person, please. Thank you.
Okay, ma. Okay. Let me round up. If you are going that side, is okay. Number one. And what I want to do, I round it up is, if it can be possible, I'm seeing something like second civil war may happen at any time. So we need to prepare more to defend our land mostly. Even though we can do whatever we want to do, we need to prepare more to defend our land.
Thank you.
Anything can happen. We need to do it. Thank you, man, and God bless.
Thank you so much. The defense of Biafra land and our people will depend on all. The defense of our land will depend on Biafra people. Again, I think we have to get used to know that this freedom that we have gotten, the protection of that freedom lies on all Biafrans, on all our hand. And that is when we constantly say that the freedom of the United States of Biafra people, the freedom of Biafra people does not depend on any individual. It does not depend on Nnamdi Kanu. It does not depend on Simon Ekpa. It does not depend on Dr. Roberts, even if I'm not here today. The protection, the full protection of the 40 states of Biafra land must happen. And those that will do it are the Biafran people. So again, I just want to clarify that the protection of our land is going to be done by Biafra people. One other thing I wanted to talk briefly about on somebody is on Twitter, this so-called, there are some people that are trying to spread the narrative that the challenges in Nigeria is not a religious or Christian or Muslim thing, that these challenges that Nigeria is facing encouraging the more killing of Christians, the more destruction of indigenous Nigerians in that enclave called Nigeria. Those are the words you hear from the stooges of people like Tinubu and co, that has power, that has money, and are deceiving the world. Oh, there is something that needs to be done to bring lasting solution to Nigeria. No, there is nothing like that. Nobody exists. Nobody lives with reintegrated terrorists. Anybody telling you that there is something that you can do to change a non-terrorist from acting that out, which he or she is trained for all the years of his life, that person is a criminal, and that person does not mean well for humanity. There is nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to stop a terrorist who hates Western civilization, a terrorist who does not believe in what you do as a Christian. There is nothing, even if you lock the person up with you inside one room for 100 years, he will never, ever, ever be your friend. That animosity, that enmity, once he sees other fellow Islamic terrorists, that thing will come out on him and he will kill you, slide your throat in a minute. Talk less of a country that reintegrates non-terrorists. There is nothing that will make the Christians in Nigeria to live and exist with This Islamic terrorists have been brought in by Tinubu and the Nigerian politicians. Nothing will ever make them coexist. That is why I know the only solution that will make people leave is the immediate dissolution of that enclave called Nigeria. Immediate sanctions against Nigeria and the Nigerian politicians. That must happen to make people leave, to make indigenous to live, to make the world a better place. For the United States of Biafra, we are seeking the support of our allies. Now, the United States of Biafra is already gone. We've already declared our independence. That right must be respected by everyone and every group and every organization. Currently, Nigeria is occupying a foreign land. They must leave.
Greeting, Honorable DPM. Thank you for your wonderful speech. And I'm sure Biafrans and all friends heard what you said, and our international allies heard what you said. And also, thank you to all that have spoken and all Biafrans here present.
Can you check that? Can you check your phone is cracking a little bit?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. You know what happened? What happened today shows how far the Nigerian government has fallen. Nigerian government is so drunk with innocent blood, and this innocent blood has blinded their conscience. But the good thing is the world is seeing all the evidence before their own eyes. There's nothing hidden under the sun. Nnamdi Kanu warned them that things like this will happen, and nobody took him serious. Nigeria is a nation with educated illiterates, absolutely educated illiterates. From the president to the governors, all the things that are happening, and they still went ahead to give the sentence they gave to Nnamdi Kanu. They are making a complete caricature of themselves, complete caricature before the whole world. The saying in Igbo language that says "Onyara mahuno onyara, omunno onyara manara na onyara."
Sister Lawene, your phone is still cracking up. I don't know if that's from me or I'm the only one that is noticing that sound. I don't know if you're using a speaker or something. I don't know. But
yeah, Your Excellency, she's very clear. I think maybe it's from you. Maybe are you using any earpiece?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So the foolishness of Nigeria is so obvious. The stupidity of Nigeria is so obvious. We always say about common sense, but common sense, Nigeria has no common sense, because if they've got common sense, they will know that what they are doing is completely wrong. Biafra cannot be silent. Biafra cannot be stopped. The nation of Biafra has already been redeclared in Leyte, Finland on the 29th of November 2024. And that is where all of us stand. And I'm using this podium to ask all Biafrans to come together and face what is facing us. The time for gossip is gone. The time for fighting is gone. We have to join hands together and get back to our country, because the Red Sea has already been divided by God. And God is asking us to pass through the Red Sea. Nothing is stopping us from going into our Biafra land. Nothing is stopping us. Not even Nigeria government can stop us. We are the one that is afraid to take what belongs to us. The intimidation has to stop. The fear has to stop. Biafra nation is a mighty nation. And I'm calling on all the international bodies to recognize the nation of Biafra. And march together. Not marching into war, but standing together. Because what is giving Nigeria giving them the what's the word to use? Allowing them to say what they are saying, to act how they are acting, to intimidate Biafrans, to kill Biafrans, is because of some Biafrans that's allowing them to do this. Because Biafra was already a nation before Nigeria and British happened to us. But most Biafrans are still yet to get this into their skull, that Nigeria is even afraid of Biafrans. Because only somebody that is afraid, that is a bully, can give a sentence they gave to Nnamdi Kanu today. Because Nigeria acted like bullies. Because what they've been doing is bullying Biafrans with the barrel of the gun. And then, as the DPM said, they continue to integrate known terrorists into their army, into their police. And they were going into our forests. That was why Nnamdi Kanu created the ESM when he did, to protect our forests. And now Nigeria has made a Muslim country. There's nothing else anybody can do, because this is the agenda. Anybody that is speaking differently, the person is already compromised. So now, Biafrans, do not be afraid. We already gotten our nation, but we all have to come together and claim what belongs to us before Nigeria happens to everybody. Because anybody Nigeria happens to is gone, just like Nigeria happened to Finland. They use our resources from our own land to kill us, to buy the gun they're even using to shoot us. They've killed so many Biafrans, and those languishing in the prison. Because Nigeria has no shame. No matter how much blood they spill, they will still come out to claim innocence. They still come out to tell you they are a nation. But all the attributes of a nation has already left Nigeria. They know Nigeria is not working. They continue to lie to themselves. But Biafrans that continue to support Nigerians are the most stupid people that are around now in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. Because whether you like it or not, Nigeria is going nowhere. Nigeria is already a failed state. Because the blood of the innocent that has been killed can never restore the nation like Nigeria. Now, we human beings are crying. But in few days, the blood of the innocent will start crying. And when the blood of the innocent start crying, Nigeria will be looking for Biafrans to restore. They will be the one to call us. Say, go. If you want to go. Because the blood of the innocent, from the womb to the grave that they've killed, they are about to rise. And believe me, just like what one of the gentlemen said, the first son of the governors, just like it happened in the days of Israel and Egypt, when they refused the Israelites to go. It will start from their first son. Because the Bible is going round, because we are the modern Egyptian and the Israelites.
All right.
So whatever Nigeria is doing now, they will all pay for it. But Nigerians, stand together, come together. No more fighting. Come together and face what is facing us. Because God has already given us our nation.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you so much. We go
so we just take
Amy Njoku, yeah.
We just take only two more speakers, please, and then we can go. Only two.
Your Excellency, I think it's only Amy Njoku remaining.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Amy Njoku, please, the mic is yours. Amy Njoku, are you there? Maybe if he's not there, then I think it's finished, Your Excellency.
All right. I think we're going to come to the end of this. Again, thank you so much, dear friends, for listening and joining.